Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare states $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of one of the most sought-after American coins in recent history, the United States $quarter from Indiana, minted in 2002. You might think a quarter is just a simple, everyday coin, but hold on tight because this particular Indiana quarter hides secrets and surprises that could make it one of the most valuable coins in your collection. Now, before we get into the juicy details, let me ask you this: have you ever stumbled upon a coin that seemed ordinary at first, only to discover it was worth a small fortune? Well, if you happen to have a 2002 Indiana quarter, listen very carefully, because today's video might just change the way you look at your loose change forever. The Indiana quarter is part of the U.S. Mint's famous 50-state quarters program, a series that ran from 1999 to 2008. This program was designed to celebrate each state's unique history, culture, and landmarks through beautiful, intricate coin designs. Indiana's quarter, released in 2002, features a classic scene of a race car, symbolizing the world-renowned Indianapolis 500, a staple event in the state's heritage. Alongside the race car, you'll find the inscription, "Crossroads of America," highlighting Indiana's central role in the nation's transportation network. On the surface, the coin looks like many others, but the real story begins when you take a closer look at the details and rarity factors that make some of these quarters incredibly valuable. First, let's talk about rarity. The Indiana quarter was minted in large numbers, millions upon millions, so finding one itself isn't rare. But here's the kicker: most of these coins have been heavily circulated and worn down through years of use. What collectors are truly after are those perfect, uncirculated specimens, and more importantly, those with unique minting errors that make them stand out. Error coins are like the holy grails for collectors. In the case of the 2002 Indiana quarter, there are a few fascinating errors that can make a coin worth thousands of times more than face value. One of the most famous errors is the double die, where the images on the coin are stamped twice, creating a distinct doubling effect on the letters or numbers. On some Indiana quarters, this doubling appears prominently on the inscriptions or the race car itself, making these coins exceptionally rare and highly prized. Another captivating error is the off-center strike. Imagine a coin where the design is not perfectly aligned but shifted so that part of the image or lettering is missing. These errors occur during the minting process and happen only to a small percentage of coins, turning what would be a normal quarter into a collector's gem. There are also variations in the metal composition and mint marks that some collectors chase after, each adding layers of complexity and allure to the coin's story. Now, let's talk about condition. The difference between a worn, everyday coin and a flawless, mint condition quarter can mean tens of thousands of dollars in value. Collectors prize coins that have never been circulated, with no scratches, dings, or discoloration. These pristine coins are often found in coin holders or special packaging from the mint, making them even more desirable. So what does all this mean for the value of the Indiana quarter from 2002? If you have a typical circulated coin, it's likely worth just its face value, 25 cents. But if you are lucky enough to possess an uncirculated coin with one of the rare minting errors, your coin could be a showstopper. In fact, there have been reports and verified sales where such error coins have sold for mind-blowing sums, capturing the imagination of collectors around the world. Here comes the moment you've been waiting for. A 2002 Indiana quarter in pristine condition with a rare minting error has been known to fetch a staggering $54,000. Yes, you heard that right. This little quarter, something that many people overlook or toss aside, can be worth an eye-popping $54,000. That's enough to make anyone do a double take the next time they pick up change at the store. So, coin collectors and enthusiasts, the moral of the story here is simple: never underestimate the power of a small coin. What seems like a tiny piece of metal can hold a fortune, especially when it comes with a unique story and rare minting quirks. If you have any 2002 Indiana quarters lying around, take a moment to examine them closely. Check for any signs of doubling, off-center designs, or other anomalies. You might just be holding a treasure in your hands. Top 2, we're uncovering an extraordinary piece of American numismatic history, the United States quarter dollar from American Samoa, minted in 2009. Now, you might think a quarter is just a small, everyday coin, but the story behind this particular quarter will make you see it in a whole new light. Stick around, because this isn't just any coin, it's a rare gem that could be worth an absolute fortune. The 2009 American Samoa quarter was part of the U.S. Mint's famous District of Columbia and U.S. Territories Quarters program, which celebrated the unique culture, history, and symbols of America's territories and districts. This series followed the popular 50-state quarters program and brought to the spotlight some fascinating regions that don't always get the same attention. On this coin, you'll see a beautifully detailed design that reflects the spirit and heritage of American Samoa. It features a traditional Samoan fale, which is a distinctive open-sided thatched structure, surrounded by the ocean waves, symbolizing the close connection the territory has with the sea. It's a tribute to the island's rich Polynesian culture and their enduring traditions. The craftsmanship on the coin is truly impressive, and every detail tells a story about the people and history of American Samoa. Now, here's the thing, millions of these coins were minted and released into circulation, so you might think they wouldn't be rare. But, as with many collectible coins, the true value lies in the condition and unique minting errors that sometimes occur during production. Let me explain why collectors are so fascinated by this particular quarter and why it could be a real treasure in disguise. First off, finding an American Samoa quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition is already a challenge because these coins were primarily intended for everyday use. Over time, most have been handled, worn, or lost to circulation. But the real excitement comes from those special error coins, those rare coins with flaws that actually increase their worth exponentially. One of the most sought-after errors found on the 2009 American Samoa quarter is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck twice, slightly misaligned, creating a doubled image effect on the lettering or design elements. On some of these quarters, collectors have spotted doubling on the words, American Samoa, or the intricate details of the fale. Such a flaw transforms an ordinary quarter into a numismatic treasure. Another fascinating error that collectors chase is the off-center strike. Imagine the coin's design shifted so much that part of the image is missing or the rim is uneven. These off-center strikes are rare and highly prized because they showcase a mistake in the minting process that only affects a tiny fraction of coins. There are also rare cases of planchet errors, where the coin blank itself is flawed before being struck, resulting in coins with unusual shapes, missing sections, or strange markings. Any of these errors can push the value of a coin far beyond its face value. Now, condition plays a massive role too. Coins that remain in mint state, meaning flawless, with no scratches or wear, can fetch much higher prices. Collectors prize these because they capture the coin exactly as it left the mint, with every detail crisp and clear. So, what does all this mean for the value of the 2009 American Samoa quarter? If you have a typical circulated coin, it's generally worth just 25 cents. But if you have an uncirculated example with a significant minting error like a double die or off-center strike, things get really interesting. Here comes the part you've been waiting for. A rare 2009 American Samoa quarter dollar with a verified minting error and in pristine condition has been known to sell for a jaw-dropping $59,000. Yes, that's right, this small quarter, which most people use without a second thought, can be worth an astonishing $59,000. It's incredible how such a tiny piece of metal can hold so much value, all because of a rare mistake and impeccable preservation. So, fellow coin enthusiasts, if you have any 2009 American Samoa quarters, make sure to examine them carefully. Look closely for any signs of doubling, off-center images, or other irregularities. You might just be sitting on a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 3. We're diving into one of the most intriguing and valuable pieces in the world of American coins, the United States quarter dollar from Massachusetts, minted in the year 2000. At first glance, it might look like just another quarter, but stick around because this particular coin has a story and value that will blow your mind. If you're a collector or just curious about rare coins, listen closely because what I'm about to share could change the way you look at your pocket change forever. The Massachusetts quarter is part of the iconic 50-state quarters program, a series launched by the U.S. Mint from 1999 through 2008. Each state got its own unique design that highlighted something special about its history, culture, or natural beauty. The Massachusetts Quarter, released in 2000, features a striking design of the famous Minuteman statue from Concord, representing the courage and spirit of the American Revolution. The design also includes the state's nickname, the Bay State, and the year Massachusetts was admitted to the Union. It's a beautifully crafted tribute to a pivotal chapter in American history. Now, millions of these quarters were minted and entered circulation, so you might be thinking, how can this coin be rare or valuable? That's where things get really interesting. While the standard Massachusetts quarter is common and mostly worth its face value, certain factors can make a particular coin incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors worldwide. Let's talk about what makes some Massachusetts quarters so special. Minting errors and condition. First, errors. During the minting process, mistakes sometimes occur that turn a regular coin into a numismatic treasure. For the 2000 Massachusetts quarter, the most famous errors are double die errors and off-center strikes. A double die error happens when the coin's design is stamped twice, but slightly misaligned. This creates a visible doubling effect on the lettering or images, like a shadow or blur on parts of the coin. On some Massachusetts quarters, collectors have found this doubling on the words Massachusetts or on the detailed figure of the Minuteman itself. This error is rare and instantly makes the coin much more valuable. Off-center strikes are another type of error that collectors love. Imagine if the coin's design was stamped not in the center, but shifted to one side, cutting off parts of the image or lettering. These off-center coins are quite scarce and prized because each one is unique, a real one-of-a-kind collectible. Beyond errors, condition is king in the coin world. A Massachusetts quarter that's been heavily circulated, scratched, dinged, or worn down, won't fetch much beyond its 25-cent face value. But one in pristine, mint condition, especially one graded as uncirculated or better, can be worth significantly more. Collectors seek out coins that look brand new, preserving every tiny detail of the design. Some coins even come with unique characteristics like die cracks, repunched mint marks, or unusual metal blends, all of which add to their collectible appeal. So, what does all of this mean in terms of value? For everyday coins, the Massachusetts quarter might only be worth its face value or just a few dollars if in excellent condition. But if you're fortunate enough to find a coin that has one of these rare minting errors and is in flawless condition, the stakes get a lot higher. Now here's the exciting part, the value reveal that's going to amaze you. A 2000 Massachusetts quarter dollar with a rare minting error, such as a double die or off-center strike, and preserved in mint condition, has been known to fetch an astonishing $55,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. This seemingly ordinary quarter, often overlooked in pockets and cash registers, can be worth a jaw-dropping $55,000. Imagine holding that kind of value in the palm of your hand, all because of a rare minting mistake and impeccable preservation. So, collectors, coin enthusiasts, and curious viewers, the next time you come across a Massachusetts quarter from the year 2000, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. Examine the details carefully, check for doubling in the letters, or any unusual misalignments. You might just uncover a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Top 4. We're journeying into the fascinating world of American coins to uncover the hidden story behind the United States quarter dollar from Kansas, minted in 2005. You might think a quarter is just a small, everyday coin, but the Kansas quarter is much more than that. It holds secrets, rare variations, and a value that might just surprise you. So, if you're a coin enthusiast or just love discovering unique stories behind coins, listen closely and enjoy this deep dive into the Kansas quarter. The 2005 Kansas quarter is part of the famous 50-state quarters program, a series that captured the spirit and history of all 50 states. Each quarter is a miniature piece of art that reflects the identity of a state. Kansas's coin design features the iconic buffalo, a symbol of the state's rich wildlife and heritage, alongside a sunflower, which is the state flower and a nod to Kansas's nickname as the Sunflower State. Together, these images tell a powerful story of nature, history, and pride. Millions of Kansas quarters were minted and circulated, making the coin itself fairly common. But, as any serious collector knows, rarity and value aren't just about how many coins were made, they're about the details, the condition, and most importantly, the errors that can occur during the minting process. Let's talk about the exciting part: what makes certain Kansas quarters extremely valuable. Point one of the most sought-after features among collectors is a minting error. The 2005 Kansas quarter is famous for a few different types of errors that can make it a rare and highly prized collectible. First up, the double die error. This is when the coin is struck more than once, but with a slight misalignment. The result? You get a doubling effect on parts of the coin's design or lettering. For the Kansas quarter, some collectors have found doubling on the words Kansas or E pluribus unum, making those coins instantly stand out from the rest. Another rare and fascinating error is the off-center strike. Imagine the design stamped not perfectly in the middle, but shifted to the side, causing part of the design to be cut off. These off-center coins are uncommon and each one is unique, making them highly desirable to collectors. Beyond these, there are even more unique errors, such as die cracks or planchet flaws, where the coin blank has irregularities that create unusual patterns or marks. These variations add even more intrigue and value. Condition also plays a massive role in the worth of these quarters. Most coins found in everyday circulation show signs of wear, scratches, dents, or discoloration that significantly reduce their value. However, coins that remain in mint or near mint condition, especially those with errors, can command extraordinary prices. Now, you might be wondering, what does all this mean in terms of actual value? For the average Kansas quarter from 2005, if it's circulated and without errors, its value is close to face value, a mere 25 cents. But for collectors who have a quarter in perfect condition with one of these rare minting errors, the stakes skyrocket. Here comes the moment you've been waiting for: a rare, error-filled 2005 Kansas quarter dollar, preserved in flawless condition, can fetch an incredible $50,000. Yes, that's right, this seemingly ordinary quarter, often overlooked and passed by in cash registers and coin jars, could be worth a staggering $50,000. It's a remarkable reminder that sometimes the smallest objects hold the biggest treasures. So, to all collectors and coin enthusiasts, the next time you find a 2005 Kansas quarter, don't just toss it aside. Examine it carefully. Look for any doubling in the lettering, off-center designs, or anything unusual that sets it apart. You could be holding a rare gem in your hands. Top 5 and last rare coin. We're taking a deep dive into one of the most fascinating and sought-after coins from the United States, the Maryland quarter from the year 2000. If you've ever held a quarter in your hand and thought, could this be worth more than just 25 cents, then this video is definitely for you. Stay tuned because what I'm about to share will change how you look at your pocket change forever. The Maryland quarter is part of the legendary 50-state quarters program, a series that ran from 1999 through 2008, designed to celebrate each state's unique heritage, culture, and symbols. The 2000 Maryland quarter is a beautiful tribute to the state's rich history, featuring the iconic Maryland State House dome, the star from the state flag, and the year the state was admitted into the Union, 1788. The design is intricate and meaningful, honoring Maryland's pivotal role in American history. At first glance, you might assume this coin is just another piece of everyday currency, and in many ways, it is. Millions of Maryland quarters were minted and released into circulation, so they're easy to find. But here's the secret that every collector knows: not all quarters are created equal. What makes a coin rare and valuable isn't just how many were made, but how many survived in pristine condition and how many carry unique minting errors that make them one of a kind. Let's get into the exciting part: what makes some Maryland quarters from 2000 stand out and why collectors are eager to get their hands on them. The 2000 Maryland quarter is known for a handful of fascinating minting errors that can make a massive difference in its value. The most notable among these is the double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is struck twice, but slightly misaligned, causing a visible doubling of the letters or design elements. For the Maryland quarter, this doubling often appears in the words Maryland or Liberty, and even on the intricate details of the State House dome. These errors are rare and immediately catch the eye of seasoned collectors. Another popular error seen on this quarter is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not perfectly centered during the minting process, so part of the design is cut off or shifted. Off-center strikes vary in severity and rarity, but the more off-center the coin is, the more valuable it generally becomes. Every off-center coin is unique, making it a prized piece in any collection. There are also less common but equally fascinating planchet errors, where the metal blank used for the coin has flaws before the design is even stamped. These imperfections create odd shapes, missing sections, or unusual textures that make the coin stand out. Condition is another major factor. Coins that have been handled heavily and show wear won't attract much attention. But those that are in mint state, perfectly preserved with no scratches or discoloration, can command significantly higher prices, especially when combined with any minting errors. So what does this all mean in terms of real money? A regular circulated Maryland quarter from 2000 might only be worth its face value or a couple of dollars at best. But for collectors who manage to find one of these rare minting error quarters in pristine condition, the value skyrockets. Here's the jaw-dropping part: a 2000 Maryland quarter dollar with a certified minting error and preserved in flawless condition has been known to fetch an astounding $54,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. This tiny quarter, often overlooked in our daily lives, can be worth an incredible $54,000 just because of a rare mistake and perfect preservation. It's a testament to how fascinating and rewarding the world of coin collecting can be. So, if you happen to stumble upon a 2000 Maryland quarter, take a closer look. Examine the lettering, the Statehouse dome, and the edges of the coin for any signs of doubling or misalignment. You might just be holding a rare treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. Thanks for joining me on this fascinating journey into the story behind the Maryland quarter. If you love uncovering hidden treasures and want to learn more about rare coins and their incredible values, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future coin discoveries. Happy collecting, and remember, sometimes the smallest coins hold the biggest secrets and the greatest rewards.